Welcome back to my channel. My name's Joanne, and today I will be talking about my 2021 TBR. So, on this TBR, I have 25 books that I would like to read. So, I don't know if this is going up first or if my reading goals is going up first because I'm filming them at the same time. But basically my reading goal is to read 50 books in a year, and so this is half that list. If I can get to all of them. I hope so. So I'm just gonna go through the books that I want to read and give a little description on what they are, and some of them I don't know, so I have my laptop here to look up like Goodreads descriptions or anything. And I'm not going in any particular order. So the first book that I would like to read is Dear John by Nicholas Sparks. So I have a lot of Nicholas Sparks books that I haven't gone through yet, and I love him. Like, I read The Last Song in high school, and I stayed up until like 1 a.m. finishing that book. And if you know me, I never go to sleep that late. But so I just love how like easy his writing is, and I need to get to these. And this is like one of the shorter ones because this is a mass market. So I actually watched this movie and I cried. I think I cried like twice in this movie. But so basically it's about, so his name's John, well, Dear John. So the guy's name is John, and like so it says at the end here, John must choose between love and country. Now, when he finally returns to North Carolina, John will discover how love can transform us in ways we never could have imagined. I'm very excited to read this. So the next book on this list, I actually just recently got, and it is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. So this is a horror, I think, and it says, a tale of revenge, cultural identity, and the cost of breaking from tradition in this latest novel from the Jordan Peele of horror literature, Stephen Graham Jones. So it says, seamlessly blending classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary, can I read? The Only Good Indians follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on retribution, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. So 2 of my friends actually read this and they loved it. So I want to get into it, and I also want to get into reading horror because I don't think I've read much like horror, if any. So I'm excited. The next book is Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, and this is the sequel to Children of Blood and Bone. So in Children of Blood and Bone, it's about this girl named Zelly, and she goes to this market in like the town square to like sell fish to make money to be able to pay what the like magi need to pay to the government, I'm pretty sure. But so on the way she ends up helping a princess escape, and Zelly goes on this journey to try to get magic back because magic has been gone for a long time. And so the first time I read that book, I felt mad about it, but I reread it this year and I loved it so much. And my friends also like really enjoyed this, and I'm really excited. The next book is Digg by A.S. King. So this is also a book that I just kind of recently got, And my friend actually did a video about her reading A.S. King books, and her channel is Mandolin Reads. I will link her channel down below if I remember. And I think this is about like, I think it's like commentary on like race, and it's about like potato farmers or something. I don't know. It's weird. I'm intrigued. So the next book is The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. And this is basically about a world in eternal war. So it says, a world caught in an eternal war. Oh my goodness. One young man will become his people's only hope for survival. And it says Game of Thrones meets Gladiator, which I've never read or watched Game of Thrones. I've never seen Gladiator, so. But I know the second book just recently came out, and I'm very excited. This is very floppy too. Like, this book is huge. Like, it's literally bigger than my face. But I'm very excited to read this. Okay. If I'm looking down, that's because I'm looking at like my TBR list, because I have quite a few ebooks on here too. And I might just go through them at the end, like after I get through all the physical ones. So the next book is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. So earlier this year, I read Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. But, and I thought that was okay. I gave it 3 stars, I'm pretty sure. But, I'm also, like, trying to get into thrillers. But I think, for me, I'm, like, more, like, mystery thrillers than, like, psychological or, like, domestic thrillers. But I'm still experimenting. So, this is about a girl who goes on the train. Really? Wow. But, so she sees something happen, and I don't remember what it is, and I don't care to remember what it is, because especially thrillers, like, I don't want to go in knowing anything. But so basically she goes on a train, and then, like, she sees something, but everyone thinks she's crazy, I think it is. So, again, I'm excited to read it. The next book is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. That's also very floppy. I love floppy paperbacks. But I don't really know what this is about. I think this is like a mystery. So it says Barcelona, 1945. A city slowly heals from its war wounds, and Daniel, an antiquarian, book dealer's son who mourns the loss of his mother, finds solace in a mysterious book entitled The Shadow of the Wind by one Julian Carax. Oh, I remember now. So, like, he finds this book, but, like, he really enjoyed it. So he wants to find other works by the same author, but someone's going around and burning all of the books. And he's trying to figure out who's doing it and why. I'm very excited about this. Surprise, surprise. The next book is The Diviners by Libba Bray. And I think this is like considered like a paranormal-ish fantasy or something on Goodreads. But it says, do you believe there are ghosts and demons and diviners among us? Evie O'Neill has been exiled from her boring old hometown and shipped off to the bustling streets of New York City, and she is positively ecstatic. It's 1926, and New York is filled with speakeasies, Ziegfeld girls, and rakish pickpockets. The only catch is that she has to live with her uncle Will and his unhealthy obsession with the occult. Evie worries he'll discover her darkest secret, a supernatural power that has only brought her trouble so far. But when the police call Will to the crime scene of a murdered girl branded with a cryptic symbol, Evie realizes her gift could help catch a serial killer. As Evie jumps headlong into a dance with a murder, other stories unfold in the city that never sleeps. And unknown to all, something dark and evil has awakened. That sounds so interesting. Why have I not read this yet? I've had this for a while now. I don't remember when I got this, but it's been a couple years, I think. And this is also like pretty hyped up on BookTube. The next book is The Black Prism by Brent Weeks. This is about Guile, who's a prism, and he's the most powerful man in the world. He is high priest and emperor, a man whose power, wit, and charm are all that preserves a tenuous peace. Yet prisms never last, and Guile knows exactly how long he has left to live. When Guile discovers he has a son, born in a far kingdom after the war that put him in power, he must decide how much he's willing to pay to protect a secret that could tear his world apart. That sounds very interesting. I think it's about like, is this like color magic or something? I don't even know. Again, I don't really know much about these books, so, and I like to keep it that way. The next book that I would like to read is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. So I was supposed to read this in November, I think it was November. Well, that didn't happen. Maybe October, I can't remember. But this is set in World War II in France, and it's occupied by Germany. And it's about these two sisters who have to go their separate ways, and it follows their stories. Everyone cries at this book. So, am I ready for the tears? Probably not. The next book I started reading this summer, but I think it was a month where I was reading like 3 books at once, and that was too much for me. And so I had to stop reading this and read other stuff. But that book is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Under the influence of their charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, they slip gradually from obsession to corruption and betrayal, and at last, inexorably, into evil. When I started this like gave me, if you've seen Riverdale, I think it was season 4 when Jug went to the preppy school. Those are the vibes that I got. So, yes. I'm excited I'm probably going to restart this book when I start reading it. But, yeah, I have a post-it here that says, this is giving me Riverdale season 4 vibes. I think it was season 4. But yeah, I was loving this when I was reading it though, so I'm really excited to finish it. The next book is another hyped up book, and this was super hyped up this year because the 3rd book just came out this year, and that is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. So this is set in 18th century Cairo, and so it's about this girl named Nari who's a con woman, and she makes her living swindling Ottoman nobles, hoping to one day earn enough to change her fortunes. And then she accidentally summons a dark, mysterious djinn warrior, and she learns that even the cleverest of schemes can have deadly consequences. Forced to flee Cairo, Dara and Nari journey together across hot, windswept sands teeming with creatures of fire and rivers where the mythical Murids sleep, past ruins of once magnificent human metropolises and mountains where the circling birds of prey are more than what they seem, to the legendary city of Brass. It's a city steeped in magic and fire, where blood can be as dangerous as any spell. A city where old resentments run deep in the royal court rules with a tenuous grip. A city to which Nari is irrevocably bound, and where her very presence threatens to ignite a war that has been simmering for centuries. Again, this is super floppy, and it's huge. Love that for me. And the text is pretty small. Do you see that? So the last physical book that I have is The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin. Again, another really hype book on BookTube. So a couple of my friends read this, and again, they loved it. And I really want to read it. I think this is about like something about like the world ending. But it says here, this is the way the world ends for the last time. It starts with the Great Red Rift across the heart of the world's sole continent, spewing ash that blots out the sun. It starts with death, with a murdered son and a missing daughter. What the frick? It starts with betrayal and long dormant wounds rising up to fester. This is the stillness, a land familiar with catastrophe, where the power of the earth is wielded as a weapon, and where there is no mercy. That sounds so interesting. Okay, so now on to the ebooks that I would like to read in 2021. So I would like to read Jade City, which is an adult fantasy by Fonda Lee. And I think it's a part of the Greenbone saga. I know the second book, Jade War, I think it is, came out this year, I think the third one comes out next year. So the next book is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. And I'm currently looking down at my laptop. And it's a mystery about a girl who was murdered by, I think, her boyfriend or something. I don't even remember. I don't know. But so this girl was murdered by someone, and like I think he like went to jail for it, but this one girl doesn't think that he did it. So she chooses the case for her final year project and uncovers secrets that someone in town desperately wants to stay hidden. And if the real killer is still out there, how far will they go to keep Pip from the truth? That sounds like my type of book. Just saying. But it's a YA mystery, and it's also been getting a lot of hype, so I'm very excited for that one too. The next book is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, and I think it's like a wintry setting, and it's set in Russia, and it's like one of those fantasies that's like very like lyrical and like atmospheric. So I've been needing to read that. The next book is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna Maguire, and I'm very excited to read that because first of all, it's short. And with all these long freaking books, I need short books. Like, why did my brain think that this was okay? I don't know. But it's a part of the Wayward Children series, and that's all I really know. The next book I would like to read is Middle Game, also by Shauna Maguire. And it's like an alchemy-ish book, I think. I know it's about these two twins named Roger and Dodger, and one of them is like super good at math, the other one's good at science, I think it is. Apparently it's weird. It has like mixed reviews, and my friends love it, and I'm really interested to see what I think about it. The next book is Vengeful by V. Schwab. I read Vicious earlier this year and I really enjoyed that. Like, I loved reading about Eli and Victor, just like their characters. And I don't know, I'm excited to see where it goes. So, I think I gave Vicious like 4 stars. The next book I would like to read is Gideon the Ninth, and Harrow the Ninth just came out this year. And the third one, Electo the Ninth, I think, what it's called, comes out next year. So I would like to read this because apparently it has like a bunch of like anatomical stuff in it, like it's very sciencey. And so in school my major is exercise science, and what I want to go into PA. So like, I don't know, I love learning about like anatomy and all of that stuff, so that really interests me. And again, my friends loved it. So the next book is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, and this is a YA fantasy about this boy named Laszlo Strange, and he goes on a journey to find the city of Weep, I think it is. And apparently this is also like a very like lyrical, atmospherical book. So I'm excited. The next book is The Night Country by Melissa Albert. I read The Hazelwood. When did it come out? Like a year or two ago. And I really want to read the second one to see what I think about it. And I just found this out like recently, but so in The Hazelwood, the main girl's grandma wrote this book of fairy tales, and that book of fairy tales is coming out in January. I didn't even know that. Like, excuse me? I want to read that. Okay. So basically, The Hazelwood is about this girl who's like living her normal life, and then she like goes on this journey to like, cause like her mom's telling her like, don't go to the Hazelwood, like you better not go. And then she's like, okay, but like why wouldn't I go? So then she goes on a journey to find the Hazelwood. I know I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. So the next book is Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake, which I did not realize it was by Ashley Herring Blake, cause what else did she write? I'm looking up right now. Oh my gosh, she wrote Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World, and I literally just got that. What are the friggin' chances? Because I'm like, her name is so familiar. But so basically, Girl Made of Stars is about this girl named Mara, and her friend Hannah accuses her brother Owen of rape. And Mara doesn't know what to think. Like, she is stuck between like her brother and her friend, like believing that her brother could do such a thing, or like believing her friend that like, yes, he did such a thing. And then she faces like her own trauma, and it sounds very hard-hitting, and I'm so ready for that. Because, okay, it's so YA contemporary, but like, I'm not super into YA contemporaries unless if they're hard-hitting. Like, that's just the type of reader I am. Like, I don't really vibe with like the light, fluffy YA contemporary. Like, I need something to happen, you know? The next book is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So Daisy Jones and the Six is about this band called Daisy Jones and the Six. And so this person interviews Daisy Jones and like goes through like what happened, because like they broke up and stuff. So yeah, it's just that story, and I'm very excited because I loved Evelyn Hugo so much. So much. That hurt me. So the last book that I would like to read is The Wolf of Oronaro, which is the first book in the Chronicles of the Bitch Queen. I mean, hello, Chronicles of the Bitch Queen. And this is by K.S. Veloso. So I'm just gonna read this tagline. It says, I murdered a man and made my husband leave the night before they crowned me. Wow. So it says, a queen of a divided land must unite her people even if they hate her, even if it means stopping a ruin that she helped create. A debut epic fantasy from an exciting new voice. Born under the crumbling towers of Oronaro, Queen Taliane was the shining jewel and legacy of the bloody war of the wolves that nearly tore her nation apart. Her upcoming marriage to the son of her father's rival heralds peaceful days to come, but his sudden departure for their reign fractures the kingdom beyond repair. Oh, before their reign begins. Okay. My brain. Years later, Taliane receives a message urging her to attend a meeting across the sea. It's meant to be an effort at reconciliation, but an assassination attempt leaves the queen stranded and desperate to survive in a dangerous land. With no idea who she can trust, she's on her own as she struggles to fight her way home. What the frick? That sounds so good. And my friends loved this. And I mean, Chronicles of the Bitch Queen. How can you not want to read something that's a part of that series with that series name? I'm just saying. So, after all that, there is my 2021 TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you're planning to read next year. I would love to know if you've read any of these books. Let me know down below in the comments as well. Did you like them? Did you not? Let me know your thoughts. If you would like, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribe if you really want to. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!